Good day, everyone. Hello, Mabuhay. It's me, Jack, and welcome to my blog. And our content today is we will be explore the different philosophical thoughts on education. And now we will draw to find out the different philosophical thoughts on education of each philosophers we will meet. First, JL stands for John Locke. Let's discuss a little bit about him and his philosophical thoughts on education. John Locke, 1632 to 1704, was an English philosopher, often classified as an empiricist, because he believed that knowledge was founded in empirical observation and experience. Locke famously wrote that man has three natural rights: life, liberty, and property. In these thoughts concerning education, 1693, Locke argued for the broadened civility and better treatment of the student. I hope you learned a lot about John Locke. We forward to HS stands for Herbert Spencer. Let's go and we will discuss about him and his philosophical thoughts on education. Herbert Spencer developed an evolutionary utilitarian ethics in which the principles of ethical living are based on evolutionary changes of organic development. G.E. Moore, in his Principia Ethica 1903, presented a version of utilitarianism in which he rejected the traditional creating of goods with pleasure. Principle of teaching and learning, he believed that people in an industrial society needed a utilitarian education in order to learn useful scientific skills and subjects. Learning should be a sensory experience whereas students interact with his and her environment as slow, gradual, and inductive process. Herbert Spencer is famous for his doctrine of social Darwinism, which asserted that principles of evolution, including natural selection, applied to human societies, human or social classes, and individual as well as to the biological species developing over geologic time. Are you enjoyed to learn a lot about Herbert Spencer? I'm helping, and now we going to JD stands for John Dewey. Let's go and discuss about Dewey and his philosophical thoughts about education. Dewey's thoughts on education, originally published in his 1938 work Experience and Education, analyzed both traditional and progressive education. Traditional education focus was more curriculum and heritage, defining a student's learning path from them. A progressive education focused on the student interest rather than of the instructor of the subject. In Dewey's opinion, neither of these schools of thought were sufficient. Dewey believed that traditional education was too strict and progressive education was too spontaneous. He believed that traditional education left little regard for the learner's interest and progressive education was too individualized. And now, you learn about John Dewey, and we going forward to GC stands for Georgetown. Let's do it! Kant's educational philosophy was also outgrowth of John Dewey philosophy. Both men believed in the enormous potential education to improve society and that schools should reflect life rather than be isolated from it. He wanted teachers to go beyond abstract philosophical conception of democracy and teach explicitly about power and injustice. He wanted teachers and students to count among their primary goals the building of the better social order. Are you happy to learn about Georgetown and his philosophical thoughts on education? And now we going forward to TB stands for Theodore Brummel. Let's go and discuss something about him. Brahman founded the educational philosophy of social reconstructionism, which emphasized the addressing of social questions and the quest to create a better society and worldwide democracy philosophical perspective. Reconstructionist education focused on the curriculum that emphasized social reform as the aim of education. Social reconstructionist education was to base on the theory that society can be reconstructed through the complete control of education. The objective was to change society to conform the basic ideals of the political party or government in the power, or to create a utilitarian society through education. A wonderful discussion about Theodore Brahman and his philosophical thoughts on education. And last and one and only is PF for Paulo Freire and his philosophical thoughts on education. Let's go and learn something. Paulo Freire argues that oppressed people can regain their humanity in the struggle for liberation, but only if the struggle is led by oppressed people. This introduces the central problem of the book, how to create an education system with oppressed people from oppressed people that will help them become more free. Freire argued that mainstream education, as it is predominantly practiced, revolves around teachers' attempt to deposit knowledge into students who are understood to be passive, empty accounts. Critical pedagogy is a philosophy of education and social movement that develops and applies concepts from critical theory and related tradition to the field of education and the study of culture. It insists that issues of social justice and democracy are not distinct from acts of teaching and learning. A wonderful learning about Paulo Freire. Are you enjoying the discussion about different philosophical thoughts on education? I hope you learned a lot. Thank you and God bless. Here are some infographics. Enjoy!